Hello universe! Welcome to the April edition of the Quest Pack, but if you are watching this another time, this is a wonderful tutorial on how to decorate eggs completely organically, or mostly organically, and keeping a fair amount of your sanity while you're at it. If you are finding this video via your Philosopher's Club letter, congratulations! I'm so excited that you're already a part of it, and you should have your little kit at the ready and we can go through this process together. If you do not, just kind of work with me as we go and maybe make a little list of the things that you might need, because I'm just going to be going right to it. All right, let's get into it. So the very first thing that we're going to need to do is learn how to hollow out our eggs. You can see this little video right here. That's super easy. We're going to tap a little hole in the very top of the egg, bottom of the egg, excuse me, and then you're going to kind of pick it out and then flip it over, poke a little hole in the top, and then go back down and poke a hole in the membrane. With the smaller hole on the top, you're going to blow out the egg, and if you are concerned about salmonella, definitely wash out the bottom of the egg. Just fill it up with a little bit of water, as you can see in the video, and there you go. You have some hollowed out eggs. In my ancestry, my family is from Mexico. We do something called cascarones, and so this is a really important part of our history and honestly a favorite memory from my childhood. So for that piece, you're going to want to have a couple of different things to make the cascaron. So you could either just leave the egg totally plain. I mean, this is a more or less decent representation of what that looks like. And get some confetti, fill it up, and then patch the holes. We'll get into that in a little bit. Or you can even throw in some seeds if you want to throw seed bombs in your local area. Just be sure that if you're going to be throwing seeds, that they are native to the environment that you are in, and you're not establishing new plants in the area, because that can be super detrimental and we don't want any of that. We just want to help the pollinators. So get your eggs hollowed out and open up your care package. So let's start with the dyeing kit. So what we're going to need is a couple of different things. So we have our dried beets. If you're making this at home right now, you don't have to dry them. This is just what was sent in the mail to all of the Philosophers Club members. It is kind of pretty, actually. I don't know if we can tune into that, but I really like the way that these look. And then we're going to have some dried cabbage. Again, you don't have to dry them, you just have to have some. And then onion. You can do red onion or yellow onion. I guess the white onions don't really do much, understandably. It does work a lot better if the eggs you are dyeing are white eggs, but just get creative with it, it doesn't really matter. If you want to add some decorations, as you can see on this guy right here, you can either use a crayon, or that brings in the next step of the process. We'll get there in a little bit. But what we're going to do is we're going to fill up some cups with some water and put our desired ingredients into there. We can also use some turmeric or instant coffee. This is the kind I used and it worked really well. You're going to need to get some white vinegar and pour some of that in there. I don't know, eyeball it, like a quarter cup, depending on how much you are making. Each bit is portioned for 1 egg, but you can double it if you have more ingredients at home, so a quarter cup should cover plenty of it. From there, you're going to throw your decorated egg, if you decided to decorate it into the liquid, or you can just leave it plain and throw it right on in there. There's a couple different ways that you can get it to set. I left my eggs in the jars for about 4 days or so for the color to really pigment the egg. But you can also microwave it or use boiling water and put it in a pot, so that way it really sets in there sooner. The one thing I'll say about that process is that if you're using wax to decorate the egg, it'll slowly dissolve and kind of fall apart. So let's give an example of what each color you'll get looks like. So this is 4 days of the beets. So here's the beet, and here's the color that you get from 4 days of it. A little less time, I noticed, definitely was much more red. The longer it sat, the darker it got. Then we have this guy. I think this one is my favorite, honestly. I really like this one. This is the onion skin. This color is so pretty. So onion skin is what you get like that. Then we have our turmeric. It did something kind of weird, so I'll show you the good side first. I don't know if you can see that pattern very well, but the color actually sits on the egg, and so I discovered that you want it to dry completely before you kind of wash it. You don't have to wash them. I just thought that that would be a good idea, but I noticed that with this one in particular, it started to peel. You can kind of see that it looks a little funky. But without washing it, you get a really, really nice yellow set color, and as you can see, it's not going anywhere once it dries. Then here is the coffee. I love this one so much. This only sat for about 3 hours or so. And then this also kind of peels off, so you want it to dry before you wash it or anything. I just gave it a quick little rinse so it came off of the wax, but otherwise it set pretty well. This is also the coffee that I used. Now this one was a little bit of a bummer. It appears as though the longer it sat, the less the pigment actually came out. So it was very blue on day 2, and I probably should have pulled it out then, but this was the cabbage. You'd expect it to be completely purple, but something amazing happens. When you put the vinegar into it, it totally changes the color of the pigment. So it creates a reaction inside of it. So instead of it being straight purple or pink, as you'll see when it just sits in the water, it'll kind of shift through an active diffusion and change colors into almost like a pink to blue color. And this one, I also decided to just see what would happen if I put the opposite side into the coffee to just see if it could revitalize it. Didn't really seem to do a whole lot, but that's okay. So if you want to make a cascarón, let's do this together. We'll do it with this one because I really like the way this one turned out. If you have a hole like that small, you really don't need to patch it. I typically only patch the bigger hole with the way that I hollow the eggs. But let's do this together. What did I do? Oh, here it is. So you're going to want to have a piece of paper to act as a little funnel. Well, actually, yeah, we'll use this piece of paper instead. So you want to have something to just kind of pour it right in there, and it's not going to be super clean, so just be prepared to make a little bit of a mess because this hole and big confetti isn't really the most conducive thing in the world. So we're going to pour some of this confetti onto our paper, and then we're just going to kind of shake it in there and get as much in there as we can. Make a mess. If you are choosing to put seeds in your eggs instead of the confetti, just be sure to also throw in a little bit of filler. You don't want it to be 100% eggs. So what I tend to do is throw in some vermiculite or other types of fertilizer even, just to kind of fill it a little bit more. The eggshell will actually dissolve and act as a type of fertilizer for the native seeds anyway, but it does help to disperse them if there's more inside for it to like actually explode when it hits the ground. I typically throw them out of the car on the highway, like not highway, like more like county roads. So they hit into those grasslands and everything like that where there are a lot of other native flowers and whatnot. All right. Wow, we really haven't gotten much in there yet. And I am making a total mess every time. Okay, I think that should be about good. You can kind of hear it a little bit. It's a pretty good density. Then we're going to take a glue stick, that's what that's called. Oh my goodness. And a little piece of tissue paper. Literally like the tiniest little piece, you don't need much at all. super small. Get a little bit of Elmer's glue on there. And then you just pop it right over the edge. If you want it to be a little bit more stable, wow, that's really not sticking. It's a kind of waxy tissue paper, so that might be why. If you really want it to stick, you can also just go around the edges, and that'll hold it on a little bit better too. And then you have yourself a cascarón. I am not a big fan of the way that these have been appropriated in Western spaces. They are even sold in dozen packs now at the grocery store called party eggs or confetti eggs. This is a cultural practice that I wish would be appreciated a little bit more for what it is and not some sort of commodity. So there you go, a little cascarón. So what else can we do with our beautiful dyed eggs when we are all done getting the pigment all up in it? Something super fun. I want to say this like with a little bit of warning, okay? They are so cute. They are so, so, so cute. But this was the most frustrating thing I think I've ever tried to make. So just take that with a grain of salt. Let me just show you. Little tiny egg candles. They are so precious. Like, look at that. It's just a little candle. So sweet. But as you can see, there's a lot of wax on the bottom, which was quite a difficult time. So just to show you the process, you can do it in a couple different ways. As you can see over here, I tried to crack one of the eggs. It ended up falling apart and then ended up spilling it all over the place, but it's okay. This one I tried a little bit differently. Got a little bobby pin to hold the wick in place. In your kit, you will have some handmade wicks. I made these to go with them. And you'll also have a little bit of this stuff right here, which is the beeswax pellets. Ooh, making a little mess. They're like super, super, super small. So let's check this out together. I want to see if this actually worked because the other ones, I just hand poured them into the actual eggshell. You have to pour a little bit in once it melts to just set the the wick. And once the wick is set, then you can slowly pour more and more wax into the eggshell to get like a full half egg. I used two different modes to seal the bottom. As you can see in this little video, I used a quarter piece of toilet paper and made it a little bit damp and just pressed it onto the hole from the inside. And honestly, you could probably use some tissue paper if you have like kind of some waxier tissue paper, just to kind of get it to stick. And then I put some tin foil on the outside, but that might not be necessary depending on the process that you're using to make it. This one, I wanted to see what would happen if I filled it up completely from the inside without breaking it in half first. So let's break this one together and see what happens. I'm like curious. Oh gosh. Oh, I don't know. Why is this making me so nervous? Okay. Oh, okay, this might actually be the way to do it. Although you won't be able to get any decorations on top, so just do it however you feel is best. Look at that. Okay, that's pretty solid. That's pretty smooth. I manipulated the wick a little bit too soon. I was getting impatient with it. So that's the only reason why that's lifted right there, is because I was messing with it, not something that happens in the process on its own. But yeah, that worked pretty well. And then you can just trim the wick a little bit, and then now you got some cute little candles right here. So that is the second part of it. And once you are all done with it, you can decorate them and put them into a cute little basket if you want to. I have this cute little basket right here with all of the goodies that we use to dye. And you have yourself a nice little Easter decoration if you would like, with some cultural meaning and a little radical if you are doing some egg bombs, or as I like to call cascaflores. Yeah, I feel like I'm missing something here. Oh, yes. Also, part of the Philosophers Club pack this month is the first ever quest conquest. So if that's something that you are like really interested in, I would love for you to stick around and listen to how to participate in this contest or the conquest. So what we are doing is having a community-based competition to create the longest, most efficient list of local markets. It must be handwritten. So be sure to write it down and include the name of the markets. It can be seasonal, it can be pop-ups, it can be permanent, it can be delis, bakeries, any sort of small mom and pop type place to support local farmers or local artisanal food people. Include their location, address specifically, and their hours in your list. The person that has the longest list of markets will earn 1 cascaron thrown in the name of each item on your list. So if you have 30, I will be packaging and throwing 30 cascarones in your honor. As a win-win-win kind of thing, this will go to help all of the pollinators, but it'll also be published. All of the lists that you guys submit will go to benefit all of those markets on your list. So I will write them up and be sure to give you credit for including them and give them each a shout out and a tag either via their website or Instagram handle on their published list or on the published list. So that way you can utilize them, you can send it to a friend, and then you can also reference it all summer and through the fall to find local goods in your area. And look at this, I even have almost a dozen eggs hollowed out and ready just to package in your name with the local seeds inside with some fertilizer and vermiculite as well. How can you submit your beautiful long list? Well, there's 2 different ways that you can do it. Well, sort of 3. You can do it either analog style, which is preferred. Send it back to the P.O. box on your letter. I should have it memorized. Let me pull up the zip code. I always forget the zip code. I just got this P.O. box. So, there it is. So the P.O. box will be written right here. It is P.O. Box 181, Idledale, Colorado 80453. So either mail me a copy of your list or your actual list if you trust me with that. And that way I can catalog it. I'll include a little picture and a shout out for you if you include your Instagram handle on there. And if you want to do it digitally, you can either email it to me to santasequoia@gmail.com, or you can tag me at Santa Sequoia and TengDios on Instagram with a picture of your list. Be sure it is legible with the back of your conquest card in the background. I cannot wait to see all of your lists together and catalog them for the benefit of our local economies, for the pollinators, and for you. If this is something that you want to participate in again in the future and you haven't signed up yet, definitely go to the Patreon linked down below and sign up for the Philosophers Club or read about the other tiers, because the Philosophers Club is included in every single one of the tiers on the Patreon. Your handwritten letter received every single month with seasonal goodies and the quest pack. I would be so honored to write you a letter. Also, check out the other ones, links below, the other ones being the other links below. Goodness gracious. It's been a long day. These eggs had me crazy. Find the Good is a wonderful sponsor of today's video, and I would love for you to find the good and spread the good as well. You can get a discount down below. They have wonderful mental health focused merch. Some of them say simply mental health, and other ones just say Find the Good. There's some really, really cute stuff on there to just help promote all around good positivity without being like toxic positive, because it is hard to find the good sometimes. When we're having those really low days, it's really important for us to kind of sit back and reflect on the blessings that we have, but also to just acknowledge that even when everything seems super doom and gloom, that there's still something to look forward to. So check that out, and I cannot wait to see you on the other side. TengDios.